Okay, so I think we'll get underway. It's my huge honour to welcome you all to this live pitching session on the final day of the Global Innovation Forum. It's been a fantastic forum, 5 days, more than 175 speakers, simultaneous regional events with one goal: to bring the global community to unlock digital ecosystems potential. My name is Carolyn Keenan, and I'm your moderator for this session. I've been involved in entrepreneurship and innovation in higher education in the UK for the last 8 years, and I'm super honoured to be involved today. So the ITU Innovation Challenge winners that we're going to meet today have gone through an incredible journey. And one in which I've been involved in a small part in being one of the mentors, and it's been fantastic to get to know them and to hear more about their truly innovative ideas. After winning the challenge, they participated in an intense week-long boot camp, which was jam-packed with sessions on creating sustainable innovation ecosystems. They were learning how to refine their idea, and of course the importance of storytelling in their pitch, which we will see in spades today. They all recorded their 2-minute video pitch with the support of their mentors and submitted them to you, the audience, to vote during the forum. So today we are delighted to be watching the 7 most voted for pitches, and the criteria used to shortlist the ones that we're seeing today was 3, and it was the potential for funding, whether it was an impactful solution in the age of COVID-19, and whether there is the ability for it to be replicated. So you're going to see 7 videos in the next hour, and I'm delighted to be joined by the jury of experts who will select the best 3 from the pitches that we see, and those 3 will be announced in the awards ceremony this afternoon. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the members of the jury that you can obviously see up there on the screen. So I did say hello to Sylvia Paul, Barbara Lawrenson, Norman Schreppel, Sophia Situm, and I'm not sure whether we've been joined by Marianne as yet. She may be joining us in a little while. So hello to everybody. An unenviable task, I think, we've got today. So the way the session is going to work is that each shortlisted pitch will be played, the 2-minute video will be played, and then the jury have the opportunity to ask questions of each of the entrepreneur that's pitching. Before we get underway, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to all the participants, all the mentors, all the ITU challenge winners, and also the organisers in the background, without whom none of this would be possible. So yeah, huge thank you to everybody who has made this such a fantastic event. So we'll now turn to the first pitch. So I'm delighted to invite, or we'll see the video for Health Tech Lab by Ivana Kostic from Serbia.
Hello from Belgrade, Serbia. My name is Ivana. Have you heard about the glove for the blind and visually impaired people, which can help them with more than 10 different functions, some of them being recognizing the colors, or seeing the bus number, or moving around freely? So this is just one of more than 60 innovations coming from Health Tech ecosystem of Serbia, supported by Health Tech Lab. Health Tech Lab is the first health tech ecosystem of the developing countries such as Serbia. In the near future, we'd like to see more of these innovations coming from other developing countries of Asia, Africa, and South America. Currently, there is a huge inequality gap in terms of developing countries being able to develop their own health tech innovations. But we would like to develop a global network of health tech ecosystems of developing countries being supported by health tech ecosystems of developed countries of UK, US, and Israel. Furthermore, there is a huge brain drain, around 10% in developing countries, which could be cured only by boosting local development. Health Tech Club is inviting all interested partners to develop their own Health Tech Club chapters in their own regions, as well as all other members of international organizations such as UN, World Health Organization, Gates Foundation, and many others who would like to support us and bring this global network into reality. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a great pitch. So open it up to the jury members to ask Ivana some questions.
Caroline?
Barbara, did you like to say a question?
Yes, I did raise my hand. I wasn't sure what you were
Sorry.
saying.
Sophian's mouth was moving, but no sound was coming out.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Congratulations, Ivana, and for this beautiful pitch and presentation. My question is, I am wondering, how do you see the leadership of your lab? Because it's a beautiful idea, but everyone will want to be part of it. And what will be the selection? Can everyone join, and can be everyone lead? Or so I'm just a bit curious about the feasibility and the leadership issues that may arise from this.
Perfect.
Is my question clear? Yeah?
Yes. Thank you so much first for the opportunity. And then answering your question, the idea is to create Health Tech Club chapters, local chapters. We already have as Health Tech Club Serbia and as the originating Health Tech Club ecosystem, specific documentation and guidelines and know-how that we would deliver to the local chapter. And so we would like to have a specific person from local Health Tech Club chapter that would be the leader, that would then manage and that knows the whole situation, that would gather all interested parties of the ecosystem that we would suggest that should be there. And considering the person who should be the local leader of the local chapter, we would suggest someone who is not directly involved either in government or medical system or entrepreneur, but is interested in building the local ecosystem just in order to be independent and to be able actually to communicate with all these parties. Because we would have different organizations with different logistics and focuses, and it's good to be someone who is communicative enough and willing and motivated to actually build the local health tech ecosystem. I hope this answers your question.
Hi, Ivana.
Hello.
Hi, now you hear me. Good.
Yes.
Congratulations on your very noble and ambitious goal. I have a couple of questions. The first is, how do you sustain yourself? How do you make sure all the people that work on that project are paid for it, or are they all volunteer? And how do you engage other outside of your local place right now in Serbia so that they join you? How do you entice them to join your cause?
So about the first part of the question, first it was volunteering from my side and from side of co-founder Damian, definitely, but we're now building membership and sponsorship packages. So basically we have the members that are startups and all other parts of the community, and also a sponsorship out of health and tech companies that are already developed and that would like to invest in development of novel, innovative ideas in our ecosystem. And we would definitely suggest that model for all other ecosystems, but it would be also great to have support of international organizations that could additionally support this global network. So we do have a model that is functioning here and that we would suggest to other chapters, but it would be great definitely to have additional support. And about the motivation, it's up to now. We have partners that will develop Health Tech Lab in the region of the Western Balkans, and also contacts in Ghana and Washington, D.C. and Ukraine that are ready to do it, let's say, tomorrow. And all of them are inspired by their own challenges in their own local ecosystems, and actually they require specific guidelines and mentorship and to further develop and support innovations that are there and they're happening, but they're on their own and they would probably just disappear or go into some other developing country to be used and developed. So I think by involving other members or motivated entrepreneurs from other countries and showing our results and everything that we have done, that they're inspired to actually develop it locally and in their own countries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ivana. And yeah, Norman has a question.
Yes.
Thanks, Ivana, for the great idea. One question on basically the knowledge that will be circulating in the network, the clubs itself. As we know that health techs or digital health is actually not really a problem about health because there's so many great ideas. It's more on integrating this in awfully complex health systems. And so my question is a little bit kind of who comes together in the clubs? You were saying it, but maybe you can say a bit more on that to make sure we don't have to just the tech, but everything else that is necessary to make the tech something meaningful. So maybe you can elaborate 2-3 sentences on this. Thank you.
Yes. So our ecosystem, can I just confirm that is the question, to explain a little bit better about who comes into our ecosystem? So what we do, Damian is another co-founder that is not here today with me, but he's always supportive about everything we do. And he's a patient, and he was for a long time president of the Patient Associations of Serbia. So we also include patients in our events, hackathons, and they're always at the center of everything that we're doing and of our ecosystem. So together with startups, patient associations and patients are actually in the middle of our ecosystem because we would like to include them in almost all the decisions. And startups are there actually to resolve, thanks to different technologies, the challenges of patients and citizens. And then out of that, we include the government that we have tight collaboration with for all the policies and changes that need to be made in order for these innovative ideas to get to the patients and to the market. Then we also have funders from different stages and involved in different ways. Then definitely companies, health and tech, that we also interact in different ways with, medical systems, so social and medical care, and also collaborators from, let's say, incubation and acceleration programs from Serbia locally and internationally that can actually further support through mentoring all the ideas and startups.
Okay, thank you, Ivana. That's really interesting, and I think really comprehensive answers to the questions there. So I think now we're going to move on to our next video.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to see next the video from India, Bully Idea from Indonesia.
It's never easy to speak up about your harassment story publicly, but I'm hoping that my story can inspire you to end the culture of humiliation. My name is Agita, and I was a victim of harassment. For years I've been working abroad. I was humiliated, discriminated. I was cyberbullied by the whole entire co-workers at my office, and not even my HR department able to help me. I lost everything. I lost my job. I had a mental breakdown, and not even once I had a suicidal thought. So I went back to my home country, Indonesia, and I realized there are over 83 million people exactly experiencing the same thing as I did. Online abuse, verbal harassment during working from home, domestic violence way increased since the COVID-19, over 300% within just 3 months. So this is what motivated me to finally build Bullied Indonesia, the only online platform that is able to help you if you are a victim of online abuse or domestic violence, to connect you instantly with licensed and accredited psychologists and lawyers. We've been suffering in silence for years, and we need your help more than ever. So please help us, and let's save more lives.
Great. Thank you, Agita. So is there a jury member who'd like to ask a question first? Sylvia, would you like to ask, as you didn't ask last time?
Yeah, it's good that we take turns a bit. No, thank you very much for that presentation and that video. Maybe can you please explain a bit more this idea? Is it focused only on your country? What will be the impact in your country by using this app? And if this is also something that you plan to scale up, and maybe how you also think you can make it sustainable.
Thank you, Sylvia, for the questions, and it's really delighted to be in here. So let me begin, I think, with the statistic of how many basically in Indonesia who's experiencing online abuse itself. We have about 83 million people. In total, Indonesia itself have about 294 million people. And in terms of the mental health and having a depression itself, we have about 17 million who are not getting the right mental health care so far. So obviously we started in Indonesia since psychologists and lawyers obviously have limitations in terms of jurisdictions to basically counseling someone who is a foreigners. The idea of Bully Indonesia is an online platform where people basically able to get a help the moment when they need it. So there is a mental stigma in Indonesia where people basically not being able to see the psychologist. Secondly, people do not want it to meet the lawyer because they have no idea how much money they will spend. And it's very common in Indonesia to know that whenever you go to the lawyer, it means you have to spend a certain amount of money. So with this online platform, basically people will know to whom they want to speak to and what kind of help they basically required for the cases, and then how much basically money they have to spend or even a time. So the idea is very simple. This online platform is able to connect the victims or the users for the psychologists and lawyers. They have basically an options to choose either they want to speak with the psychologist alone or they want to speak with the lawyers alone. In the same time, we have a different options of basically how we would like to sustain our idea. The first one, we stay for free, obviously for everyone who need it and everyone who's basically not being able to afford in the long run counseling and therapies. And that's going to be handled by the trained volunteers. The trained volunteers itself, who are the students in the last semester of their study with a background of psychology and law, whether we train them and then we provide them with recommendation letter and the certificate in the end. So they will be providing a free counseling by the live chat only, by text. Second one, basically for business to clients, so the B2C part, and that's going to be handled by the licensed psychologist and licensed lawyer. And how it works is every single counseling, it takes 60 minutes, and the psychologist and basically the lawyer have an options whether they want to deliver with text, audio, and video, everything integrated with our platform. And we, as a Bully Indonesia, we take the transaction fees. Now, secondly, for the business to business. So what we provide is not just the platform for the employees or the students to be able to enjoy the privilege for getting the psychologists and lawyers for free, but we provide with the anonymous reporting platform, where we understand that there's a lot of sexual harassment done and happened at the workplace or even in the university. One of the issue is the victims not being able to share it to the HR department or probably with the teachers. Now, with the reporting platform that we built, the victims can always stay anonymous. So it comes from our end and it will be directed to the HR department or the lecturer in the university. So this is what the bundle that we're providing for the company.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, Sofian, maybe first.
Hello.
Hi, Sofian.
I really commend you on your bravery and courage and wanting to help out people so that they do not go through what you went through. It's really admirable. So kudos for that. Now, I understood that from a business standpoint, you charge fees to the psychologists and lawyers to whom you bring business. Am I right?
Not particularly. So basically, we charge the fees through the users, or in here probably the names. Basically, we because we have a different kind of in-house psychologists and lawyers with a different experience. So obviously it is not right for us to label their own price for the counseling. So they have their own basically flexibility to put how much that they will charge per counseling, meaning per 60 minutes. So we charge to every single transactions that done through our platform.
Okay. Do they pay through your platform? No, yes. Oh, okay, they pay them through the platform. Okay. Okay, good. Now, how do you advertise? How do you make sure victims know you exist? How do you grow? Are you big? Are you small? What's the trend?
Yes, we started in May 2020, and then one of the strategy we use is basically instead of obviously building or growing our own community, because we're very, very small at the moment. So we partner with the mental health clinics, we partner with the law firm, we partner with the mental health organizations, communities, NGOs, and even the governments who already have an established followers or even the community. So we already working very closely with National Cybercrime Agency in Indonesia. That's for the law perspective. And then we also have been working with the Ministry of Women Empowerment and Children Protections in Indonesia. So we've been invited to basically have the platform for us to speak about our platform. And among that, we have already about 90 plus partners, and that ranges from media, NGOs, as well as university, schools, and community kind of like an NGO youth. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Last one. How many users have gone through your platform already? How many victims? And do you have a WhatsApp number so that people can text, or a phone number directly that they can call?
Yes, so we do have a WhatsApp number, and then for the past 3 months, we've been providing about 207 cases. And in total, including with our awareness and activities, we've been providing about 25,000 beneficiaries in total.
Thank you. Barbara, did you have a question?
I think I had the answer through the Sofian's question and response. So thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you. So thanks very much, Agita. And I think now we will be moving on to our next video. And this is Tafadzwa from Zimbabwe, telling us about agro.
Hello, my name is Tafazo. I grew up in a household that relied on farming on a 3-hectare plot in Norton, where our family was caught up in what is known as the smallholder farmer trap, where we would spend all the money from the last season to buy new inputs for this season. We spent countless hours in the fields and suffer high wastages of farming inputs and losses to our produce, which left us with a paltry harvest and negligible profits that barely sustained us. Statistically speaking, each farming cycle would lose 30% of the inputs that include land, water, and fertilizers due to lack of knowledge, unguided farming, and practicing ancient farming techniques using predated methods and farming tools. Each harvest, we also lost 40% of the produce due to rotting and lack of proper storage facilities before it even reached the consumer. Inefficient agricultural supply chains led us to sell our produce to the middlemen at lowered prices, hence a loss. Compounded by these problems, we barely turned in a profit each cycle, and hence we could not purchase more land or machinery, hence we did not have collateral. That led us to be called unbankable by the traditional funding systems such as agricultural banks, hence we could not access funding. As you realized, we were trapped in a vicious cycle of poverty, without financing, suffering heavy losses, without new technology, and using backdated methods. With time, I gradually realized that 7.1 million smallholder farmers in Zimbabwe and over 300 million smallholder farmers in Africa face similar problems. It became more of a personal mission for me to solve this problem, and that's how Agro was birthed. It is for them to access a self-service agricultural platform to bridge the agro sector. Agro is for smallholder farmers like my family alike to be able to access debt-free funding, to be able to get predictive and reliable markets, to extend their shelf life, and to have access to smart agricultural solutions to ensure maximum productivity and zero wastage in the agro supply chain. Help me make a difference and help me ensure that these smallholder farmers do not fall into similar traps like we did. With your investment in this disruptive idea, we can revolutionize the agricultural landscape.
Brilliant, thank you. Very, very passionate pitch there. Who would like to? Norman, do you have a question?
Hi, thanks for the pitch. Sounds like a great idea. Now, coming from a bit kind of international collaboration, I know there's a lot of donors kind of working on very similar topics. So my question to you would be, did you study kind of who else is in that space, and what will you do better in terms of the other platforms, the other solutions that actually have been already proposed? So maybe if you have done some benchmarking or looked at, you know, like your competitive advantage in terms of other players who are in that field, that would be interesting.
All right, thank you for that question. So starting with the competitive advantage, well, if you realize most startups that are focusing on these problems are merely just being another middleman. They're going to take the produce from the farmer, then resell it at a higher price to other consumers. What we're doing is creating a digital platform where a farmer puts their own price, puts their own quantity, what they want to sell, and the person can buy directly from the farmer. We are responsible for the logistics. Then also pertaining to that, we offer a wholesome solution where we help the farmer get access to smart precision farming technology through renting and farmer input schemes, where as a community, they can rent a drone or new farm systems such as soil sensors as a community, which lessens the price for them. Then also when it comes to rotting and wastage of produce, we also offer upscaling of the produce where we dry it using solar dryers, or we freeze it, then we package, then we sell it for them. So we're offering a wholesome service compared to targeting one problem at a time, which becomes a problem for them.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Of course, Sylvia.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this proposal. And I just wanted to understand, is your idea already, have you already put it into practice? Have you already worked with some farmers, tried it out and see if this has been useful for them? And also, how do you handle the issue about connectivity in the rural areas of Zimbabwe? Do you have enough connectivity? Do you do this through a mobile phone, or do you do it? Do you have to go through a laptop? Is it an easy platform to use?
All right, so pertaining to that, I'm going to start with the ease of access and the accessibility to the farmers in the rural areas. So what happens is this platform is accessible through WhatsApp, and statistically speaking, WhatsApp is accessible to more than 3/4 of the Zimbabwean population. So they can access through WhatsApp or text services, then we guide them through it. Then when it comes to the traction, yes, we have started. When we started in May. Then since then, we've been updating and adding more features to our platform. Currently, we're carrying out a test pilot in Norton and Dombosha, which are one of the areas that we are targeting on. And we have 107 farmers so far, and we've also moved over 20 tons of produce and have opened investment for over 20,000 Zimbabwean dollars for farmers in our country.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Barbara.
Yes, thank you very much. It's very nice and interesting. And as Norman said, there's a lot of things going on in this sector. And we understand that for this challenge, the idea is to strengthen your ecosystem. So we understand how you're going to work with the agricultural ecosystem, with the farmers and the suppliers, but I haven't really understood how you are working. Are you just a startup, or are you also working with other digital actors for the supply chain? So I'm not sure what is your ecosystem as such. Do you understand my question? Because I understand what you are working, who you are working with, but are you just standing alone? Are you just one group of developers, or do you work with many other partners in your digital ecosystem for this project?
So particularly for this project, we are a startup. So we have a team of 8 people that are working on it as an individual group. And we also rely on the agricultural extension officers, which are from the government, which are accessible to everyone. I think that's the part that we take on.
Great, thank you very much. And Sofiane?
Thank you. So you don't bring money, you don't bring loan to farmers, you bring anything else, knowledge, access to tools, access to seeds. Is that right?
Pardon, I didn't get the first part about loans.
You don't, do you help farmers get loans, or do you get them, instead of giving money, you give the tools that they need to perform better agriculture?
All right, so what happens is we have 3 platforms for that. The first one gives them access to funding, which is non-debt funding, the traditional loans, because they do not have collateral. We give them funding through contract farming, where we go to a food processor and we tell them we have farmers that can produce, let's say, 10 tons of tomatoes for you. Then they give them the funding. We provide the knowledge, the technology for them to use. After they farm, they submit their produce to the processors. That means both of the value chain members are getting value.
All right, cash advance.
Yeah, in that sort of way.
Okay, good, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up, I think we're going to hear from Zainab from Canada and Pakistan on Teach a Kid, Make Individual Life.
Hi, I am Zainab, and I believe every child should have access to education and digital literacy. And here is my story of innovation that I call Takmeel. Teach a kid, make individual life. Maria is a young girl, 12 years old, who lives in a small village, almost half a century old. Now imagine a place with no internet, no electricity, no school, and no teacher. But there is Maria and 50 children like her who need education and are digitally isolated from the world. So 1.5 years back, we reached out to her in her own community and presented a digital learning solution, a technology integrated solution with content delivery, digital assessments, and evaluation based on data analytics and artificial intelligence. Do you know what happened in this 1.5 years? Maria learned and learned to become the youngest entrepreneur in her own village. She dreamed to become first doctor in her village, and this year she internationally presented her idea of world peace. This is just one story. I have 1,500 more stories from 30 different communities across Pakistan. But this is also a reality. I have 22 million children in Pakistan and 258 million children across the globe who still need access to education and digital literacy. I want my innovation to reach every child without education and digital literacy till there is no child left behind. Let's join hands to teach a kid and make a life. Join me in this mission and support a dream of Maria and millions of children like her. Thank you.
Thank you, Zainab. Such an important issue that you're addressing there. Who would like to ask the first question, Zainab? Barbara, thank you.
Yes. Wonderful, Zainab. It's a very beautiful story. I have a very short question. How do you handle the language issue with your solution? Because in many countries, because you are very ambitious, many countries, the more you go in the country and the more different languages are being used. So what is your solution? Is that all in English, or is that also you with you using NLPs to have it in other languages? So what is your solution for the language barriers and overcoming this barrier?
Yes, and this is the issue that I faced in my country also. So what we are doing at the moment is that we are making use of the available resources. So we have community-based facilitators and they speak the native languages, and they're the source who are facilitating the whole process. In Pakistan, we have some content that is being developed in the local languages or the Urdu language, the national language. So we are making that available. But as we spread our wings in other countries, I know this would be a challenge of the language. And in every country, I think there is some open resources, educational resources available in that particular language, and we can make use of that. So we're not actually developing the content, we're making use of the open educational resources and aligning them with the curriculum needs or the learning outcomes they need for their children, and starting from basic and then progressing them to the higher learning outcomes. So this is what we are doing.
Sofiane first and then Norman.
Hi, Zainab. Congratulations on your endeavor. How many children have been taught or are being taught right now, and who pays for their education?
Yeah. So at the moment, till now, since 2017, I have reached out to 1,500 out of school children in 30 different communities across Pakistan, different cultures, completely rural areas. Some are the interior communities where there have been no school, and some are like terrorism affected areas of Pakistan also. And if I talk about the model of funding, yes, there are two things. When I started off, I started with the funding from the Pakistani community and the pool of donors in USA in different regions, and fundraising on annual basis and directing those channels for these kids. But now I believe that it's not a sustainable model, and I see a product in this technology while I was developing, that is the data-based evaluation of the students' learning outcome, and that is a product that can be offered to the students and schools in the established school system. Now, if I offer the schools that, yes, I have a technology that can tell you through data-driven model why your child is performing the way it is performing, I can make use of that product and generate a revenue stream and direct it for these children. So connecting the children who are in school and those who are not in school through this revenue channel, that is my plan, and I'm taking a transition towards it now.
Thank you. I like it.
And Norman, your question?
I withdraw. Thank you. That was kind of being answered now. Thank you.
Okay, great. And Sylvia, did you have a question as well?
I think it's fine. I think she's been quite extensive. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Zainab. That was, I think you gave such comprehensive answers to the questions there. So we'll move on to our next pitch. And this is Chidi, and he's going to be telling us about Publicere.
4 years ago, my twin brother made music. Someone told him about an aggregator in the United States that can help him make money out of it. He distributed his music with them, had huge sales, and was so excited. Unfortunately, the platform and other existing aggregators pay royalties via PayPal, which here in Africa, we do not have access to. So he had to go for the alternative payment method, which was check. 2 months down the line, the check never came. He reached out to the platform to know why. And that's when they discovered that somebody in Oslo, Norway, intercepted his check, used a fake ID, and took his money, and my twin was devastated. A year later, he said to me, Chidi, I'm not the only African creative that has gone through this kind of problem. Why don't we create a platform that solves this kinds of problem for African creatives? And Publicere was born. Hello everybody, I'm Chidi Wogo, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Publicere, a platform that has helped over 6,000 African writers, musicians, filmmakers, and video game developers, typically those from low-income and disadvantaged communities, to earn over $240,000 in revenue from their ebooks, audiobooks, short and feature films, music videos, digital music, and video games. Thanks to our partnership with the International Publishers Association and the International Publishing Distribution Association. Our service is at no charge, but we take 25% of the revenue we generate for them, and this goes back into helping more creatives and creating a self-sustaining company. Every day we discover local African talents, and we give them a platform to do what they love doing the most, while we handle the business of transforming that creativity into wealth for them. Join us as we empower the African continent and simultaneously change the African narrative by promoting the beautiful culture and heritage of the African people to the rest of the world, one content at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Chidi. Great pitch. I like the movement in the pitch. You should have had some music in the background. Okay, who would like to ask the first question? Sylvia.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was a very good pitch. And I just want to better understand, because you already mentioned revenue and that you have around 6,000 artists that are using your platform. Who are you selling to? Who is it in the African continent, or are you also scaling up and being able to offer these products in other markets? So just to understand the market opportunities.
Yeah, and thank you for the question. So we sell to everybody. We sell outside Africa and we sell within Africa. We have 413 partner stores. This includes local and international stores. We've partnered with Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Spotify, iTunes, iFlix, and Hulu TV. We've partnered with 413 stores. And also in Africa, we've partnered with Habari, Okada Books, and Spinlet. So we distribute to these platforms because they're well established and hundreds of thousands of people are constantly using these platforms to discover new content. And so what we do, the entire process is very simple. Once we get a content from a creative, we fine tune the content to industry standard. This includes book editing, book formatting, music remastering. And so that we do that so that they can compete on a global scale. Then we distribute it to our partner stores, that receive millions and billions of views every day. And then we aggregate their revenues, and these creatives, we have a centralized dashboard where they monitor their sales across all these platforms, so they can know where they're performing best and where they're not performing good. And then we aggregate the revenue and pay it into their local bank account or into their mobile money wallet for those who don't have bank accounts. And so we also have an offline submission process because we discovered that a number of them don't have internet access. So we have a platform where they can submit their content to us without internet, just using things like a hard disk or just sending it to us via SMS, So this way we are able to also reach out to people that are not, that are in remote villages and just able to help them to earn a living from their creative content. Yeah.
Barbara.
Yes, thank you, Chidi. You made a wonderful pitch. And it seems that we don't even see any problem in your solution. It's like just wonderful and so many opportunities. So now I would like to ask you the question, if you had to pick just one challenge that you think could make you fail in your proposal, what is it? And how do you address it? Because I'm sure on a daily basis, you're facing obstacles, right? So it's not that beautiful. There must be challenges. So if you can just pick one.
Yeah, so we're a company like every other, and we have challenges. When we first started the company, the first challenge we had was low sales. And we discovered that the reason why we had low sales while starting out was because a lot of the content that we were distributing were being returned back to us. And the reason was poor quality. And that was why we decided to fine-tune the content first before distribution, and that was to get that challenge. But now we have another challenge, which is piracy. We discovered that some of the content that we distribute, other people, are distributing this content illegally. And so we are also, we partnered with Google Play in 2018, and part of the partnership was to fulfill its publishing request in Africa. And with that connection, we're able to reach out to them and ask them if they can help us to support us to be able to track where our contents are that that we don't know about. And so we've been able to also find out where our contents are that we don't know about, and we are able to mitigate this challenge. But however, we still have a loophole because we discovered that not all content are on Google Play that are also on other platforms. We have content on Amazon that are not on Google Play, and so we still have some piracy issues on Amazon and Spotify and other places. And so we manually, at the moment, we are manually figuring out how we're going to find where all these places are. But at the moment, we've been able to reduce it by over 70% because Google Play has a lot of content. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions still for Chidi? Okay. Oh, Norman, yeah.
Just very quickly, I love the idea. What would you say is your market kind of, or the content of the market of the content here kind of distributing? Is this kind of platforms that are mostly finding their market in Europe and North America, or is it kind of particular platforms actually targeting an African market? Because I think it's very different if you like try to bring content to a local market or a regional market or to a global one. So just to clarify, do you feel like it's the big platforms that basically operate in Europe or North America, or is it more like regional or African platform you're working with?
So like I said earlier, we have 413 partner stores, and all of them, some of them are local stores and some of them are international stores. And when I say local stores, I mean that they are owned by Africans like Boomplay. And when I say international, we have Amazon, they are owned by Western companies. So we distribute to all of these stores because we discovered that, like, for example, Nigerian music is kind of international. We also have Nigerian music played in all parts of Africa. When I travel outside of Africa, I hear Nigerian music. When I travel to Kenya and other parts of Africa, I hear Nigerian music. And so we distribute to all these stores. However, we only target 5 countries at the moment. So when we say we only target 5 countries, this means that we only receive contents from these countries, so we are working with creatives. When I say creative, I mean writers, musicians, filmmakers, and video game developers. And we're only working with those from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, and Egypt. And the reason why we're doing this is so that we can give them quality service, because we don't only do distribution, we also do other services like content protection. We protect their work from intellectual property theft and illegal distribution. And the only way we can do this is when we have a close connection in their country to be able to copyright their content and give them that that really strong service. That's the reason why we only work with these 5 countries at the moment. Before the COVID hit, we were about to expand to other parts of Africa, especially French-speaking countries. But with the COVID hit, we couldn't expand because it needed us to have some physical travels. But once the pandemic is over, hopefully very soon, we intend to expand to other parts of Africa, especially French-speaking Africa, and then maybe to other parts of the world like India and Philippines, other emerging markets outside of Africa.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Judy, very much. And I think now we're moving on to our next person, but I'm not sure whether we need to go on to a new Zoom now, or will we watch this one on here?
You can keep going. We have created another Zoom for the next session.
Okay, fantastic. So we're going to hear from Neela, I think from Bangladesh, about her project Women in Tech, Women in Digital.
In 2009, I worked as a software team lead. I remember I received an email from my boss. They had given me a salary increment when I was expecting for a promotion. I asked my boss why I didn't get the promotion. He replied, "It's a software company and we are not promote women here. It's a 24/7 service company and women are not able to stay at night in office." I was shocked. I believe technology does not have any gender. Gender inequality is not just a problem in Bangladesh, it's a common situation in all over the world. I am Atiya Neela, founder of Women in Digital, and I wanted to solve this problem. I made an ecosystem where women teach, women run, women own and take social enterprise. Yes, I'm talking about Women in Digital, run, managed, owned by 100% women. Our main motto is women empowerment through technology, and we are ensuring their financial empowerment through technology. We are working in urban areas, and at the same time, we are working in rural areas. Last 7 years, we have trained almost 10,000 women, and most of them are contributing in our digital economy. We have arranged National Hackathon for Women, first time in Bangladesh, even in South Asia. We have launched our initiative in Nepal, and now we are planning to launch in other South Asian countries and all over the world. So support us in our mission to empower more women in technology and choose Women in Digital as the IPO Challenge 2020 winner. Thank you.
Thanks, Atiya. That was a really interesting video. Sylvia, would you like to ask the first question?
Guys, if you can further go into more detail how you feel that you want to empower more women, if that could be clarified a bit more, and how do you plan to? Is it something that you already are working on? How many women have you already engaged with, and how many you have been able to help?
Thank you, Sylvia, for the questions. In 2013, I have taken this initiative in Bangladesh because I am myself a computer engineer and I do the programming things. And when I join a international multinational company, in that time I get one problem. So they are trying to dominate me always, and they suggest me please join the testing team or the design team. In that time, I feel why I will join the testing team or design team, because I am a programmer. So I want to do some coding over there and I want to make some software for them. So, but they are insisting me to join over different program, because they suggest me actually women are not able to code. So now you are new, that's why you are interested to do some coding. But for the long run, you are not able to go a long way. So you should stop here and take your career on designing or testing teams. So I am not able to take their decision because I love something coding. So I did not take, I take it very seriously, and I promise I will complete my job cycle. Like I was joined as a junior software engineer and I completed as a CTO, and then I take my initiative in Bangladesh. And initially I start teaching some girls in my home, and then I give them some outsourcing work. And I see one thing, so when I teach them, and I believe one thing. So for coding, we don't need to learn or complete the four-year engineering things. So if I teach someone and they can learn it immediately, within 8 months, we can get a result and they can earn. So I believe we can do women empowerment when they are financially empowered. And as a media, I choose technology. So I teach them, and then they start working in my team. So initially we launched a digital agency. In that time, we are working for international market. And in that time, I faced one common problem. Women are not interested to come in my agency because all are women and they feel afraid that they are able to do the coding things and all those things. So then I launch technical schools in one urban area, and I start teaching the coding. And then when they learn from my schools and they are working in my team, and when they learn and in the same time they can earn, then they feel more interest to join in my team. And then I started in I start in Dhaka, in the capital of Bangladesh. Then I started working in the rural area also. So we are going one area and we arrange workshop, and we pick 1 or 2 community lead, and we teach them initially training for teachers. And after that, the girls, they are collecting other girls from her community and they teach them. And that is the way we are teaching our own community, and they are working in our team. So we are working in the international client, and we connecting those who are graduate from our institute. They are immediately working in our team, and those who are actually, we are not able to afford everyone, so we promote them in different software companies. So that is the way we are actually running our business, and we are working the women in technology, and we are bringing more women in tech. And we are replicate this model in Nepal also now. So it's very first stage of our initiative in Nepal.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, just one quick question. Hello, and congrats on your initiative. How many girls have you trained so far, and who paid for that?
Thank you, Sofian, for the questions. We have trained almost 10,000 women in all over the Bangladesh. So initially, actually, I am trying to use my own money, but that is actually really difficult for me because it's a very big model and I cannot afford everyone. So we just start taking donation from some international organization. Like we have complete one project with Bill Gates Foundations. We have a partnership with British Council. We have partnership with Microsoft. So so for the training purpose, we take help from them. And for work purpose, we are promoting them, the graduate student, to the different multinational companies and local companies. So yeah, that is where we are working. And we're also sharing some part of our profit for the education, the women education.
Great, thank you. Okay, so now I think we will move to our final pitch of this session, and it's Leila from Oman with Smart City Ambassadors.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Chia.
No sound.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, no sound. Give us a second.
that is technology.
There had to be one, didn't there?
Yeah, we always have such cases.
Yeah, shame it was yours.
Yeah, maybe because you want to hear my voice first before my video.
Yeah, probably. We'll see how they get on. If they can, hopefully they can rectify the issue.
Otherwise, I'm sure you know your pitch by heart, so you can go live.
Sure, why not?
Is that okay with you, Leila, or do you want me to? I'm trying to find the YouTube video.
It's okay. I'm going to wait you, and if it's a little bit complicated, I can't go live. No worries at all.
All right. If you want to go live, you can go ahead.
All right. Should I go live?
Yes, I think so, Leila, if that's okay with you.
All right. Okay. My name is Leila, and I'm from Oman. And if you don't know Oman, I hope that you are going to open Google Maps so you can where's my country. And the idea of Smart City Ambassador started, and always encouraging everyone that you have to go and check the Google map, where's the Oman and how it's located. We have a very long coast from the north to the south. And when we started Smart City Ambassador, I was having a critical challenge. And the challenge was, will we be able to work in the awareness and the building capacity for smart cities around Oman, because we were based in Oman, in Muscat, the capital of Oman. So it was really challenging. Even the human resource, there was a challenge in the human resource, because mainly only 4 people not dedicated for the smart city platform. We having like working as a part-time job. So it was really challenging. So we said, how can we be able to reach everyone? Because everyone of those start is just Muscat, the smart city. What about us? How can you reach us? And also the idea was also related to the pain that all of us as a countries, in 2016, most of the countries, it collapsed financially. And we used the regulatory transformation to provide a lot of training. It was a luxury evening training, and suddenly we stopped because there was no money. So should we stop because there's no money? So the idea said, why not empowering our own community to have our own ambassadors who can work with us, and we can also work with them. And the best thing about it, as a smart ecosystem, they are working with us as volunteers. Everyone, they will say how they will get benefit from it. They get benefit from it because we are also marketing from them, and we are also creating our own database as smart city ambassadors. And also what is best in this ecosystem, it can be applied in any organization, in any country. All what you have to do is your own human resource in your organization, and the social media is very important, because the social media is also part of the change management if you want to market for any community. So that is power of the community of practice in smart city ambassadors that can be adapted in any country. And thanks all.
Thank you. I've just got a quick question actually to start with. So could you just maybe give us a little bit more detail of what exactly the ambassadors would do once you've recruited them?
Okay, the ambassadors are going first to deliver awareness sessions in different emerging technologies. And when we started that, we started in different technologies, but we decided to start for each technology in each month. Because when you speak about emerging technologies, everyone, they will get the term emerging technologies, but then they will forget about it. So we focused in the first month, it was about blockchain. And we got only 6 ambassadors to deliver awareness sessions in 3 cities around Oman. And we say that is a success for us, because the beginning is always challenging. The next month, we got 10 ambassadors in more than 5 cities talking about big data. The third month, it was about IoT, and we will get around 22 ambassadors in more than 12 cities around Oman. And that was, the biggest success for us. And we have started to expand around Oman. And now we are also expanding globally. We have now some ambassadors who are joining us from different countries to this awareness, to this platform of smart ambassadors. And now some organizations are getting back to us For example, recently we have 2 projects in Oman. One is by the Ministry of Environment and one is by the Ministry of Housing. The Ministry of the Environment, they came to us, we need your help. Can we get the help of your ambassadors? Because sometimes we are also involving them in knowledge cafes, so they can also work as consultants with organizations, not just awareness session. So you can see how we expand it. It's not just a matter of delivering a knowledge, but they can also deliver the consultancy free of cost.
Thank you. That's really painted a picture for me there. Who else has a question for Leila? Norman, thank you. And then Sophie.
So my question is a bit on kind of the authority of the ambassadors, like why are they accepted either by the communities or by those who are doing decisions? Because that might be crucial, in terms of either they're being particularly competent and they know things others don't know, or because they're actually very good embedded in the ecosystem they're actually talking to, be it the community or be it, like the decision makers. So how do you make sure actually these ambassadors are becoming real ambassadors?
We have got, in our database, more than 700 people registering in our platform. But the active ambassadors that we have empowered them, because we are also having the social media. So whenever there's one ambassador participating with us, we market for him through our social media. That has encouraged the other ambassadors to work, hard, to work from their heart, so they can be part. And some of them, they said, we are also registered as ambassadors. Why our photos? Because if you can see, one of my presentation, it is that I have spoke about it 2 days ago. We have the picture of our ambassador who participated. And some of them, they said, I cannot see my picture. I told him, because you haven't worked with us till now. If you are going to work with us, you will see your picture with the other ambassadors. So that is how we value the ambassadors, by also marketing for them through our social media. And some of them, they get also chances so they can represent us and speak in conferences or in different events. I hope that I have answered your question, Norman.
And Sophia, do you have a question?
Yes, many questions again. No, it's based on volunteer. Do you have a plan to transition that to business, or will it stay volunteer based?
The best thing that we also, when you speak about ecosystem, you have also to get the support of the financial side. And we have the financial sector, sponsoring the smart city platforms, sponsoring the technical, which is our website, our social media, because our social media is run by SME in Oman. So that's how also we are empowering also the small companies in Oman. And the companies, we have 3 companies sponsoring us, and it is the Omantel, which is the first telecommunication company in Oman, and we have also Amran, it is based on the construction and tourism, and the third one is Nama, it's based on the smart metering and electricity and so on. So not all of these are the main sponsors, but we also have other sponsors. When we started, nobody come to us, but when we started succeeding with our ambassadors, now everyone is coming to us and they say, can we collaborate with you? So that's how we do it. And with our ambassadors, they are willing to do it free because they have seen the successful stories of their ambassador, of their colleagues from the ambassadors. Some of them, they were, looking for jobs. And when they started, sharing their knowledge with us, they said, you have helped us. Now people, organizations are asking for us to help them or deliver a knowledge session for them and so on. So that's how we do it.
Sylvia.
Yeah, I just wanted to, because I think I was having a few questions. She was answering, what do the ambassadors get out of this? And I think she's answered this a bit. But how do you ensure what type of message the ambassadors and with the work they do? Is there some quality control that you ensure that they're really putting out the message that you need? And if you say you're even sending them sometimes on speaking engagements, how do they fit into the organization?
For an ambassador, we have first to ask from them to provide us with their CV, and we have also to do like a call interview with them, so we can examine these ambassadors. And through this, and after their session, we send a survey link to all the attendees. And through that, so we can make sure that they have provided a very well content to the stakeholders. And that's how it's doing. And I'm always saying, in any country, sometimes they are very good. Sometimes, for example, some of our ambassadors are academia, and they never participated outside their academia, environment. And when they joined us in the Smart Ambassador platform, they said, you gave us a chance so we can go for outside the community, so we can provide our help to everyone. So most of them, they are academia, some of them, they have like SMEs, so they can have smart tools, so they can market for it and so on. So we do it by following up them with these, tools that I have mentioned. I hope that I have answered your question, Sylvia.
Great. Well, thank you. Thanks, Leila, for rising to the occasion and delivering your pitch in person due to the technical failure. And yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody who's pitched today. You've all been amazing, and to get to where you are today, it's a fantastic achievement. I hope you're all really proud of yourselves. And now we have to go away and have the unenviable task of selecting 3 of you to be announced as winners. But I think, truly you are all winners for getting this far in the competition. So I'm sure all the other jury members would like to join me in just saying, well done. It's not an easy thing to do, and I think you've all done it incredibly well. So thank you. And that's the end of this session now. And obviously, as I said at the start, the winners will be announced in the awards session this afternoon. So you haven't got too long to wait, which is the good news.